Everyone, it is Wednesday, time for today's live. This is Michelle Weens at Performance High, and I am talking today about willpower, something that is pretty apropos for this time of year. I was just at the gym and went for a swim and noticed all of the people that were new to the gym. People I hadn't seen before, because you know how it goes. When you go at the same times, you tend to see the same people. But there's a whole bunch of new people there today, and it's that way the first couple weeks of January. It's the time when everybody's made their New Year's resolutions to exercise and get in shape and get back in shape and get fit and get healthy and whatever else. And they all descend on the gyms, and then mid-February or so, it's pretty much back to normal. It's a lot of those people that started out with so much energy and enthusiasm kind of lose their energy and enthusiasm. They lose their motivation, and they taper off. And a few of them stay, which is awesome. But for the most part, most people kind of lose their way about mid-February. So I wanted to talk a little bit about willpower, because when the energy, the high energy of change and the excitement of, I'm going to change my life or change my ways or do something different, when that wears off, we're left with motivation and willpower to help us. And both of the, hey Yetza, thanks for coming in. And willpower in particular is a tricky one. I mean, we live in a world right now that is very, hi Kathy, thanks for coming in. A world that is very immediate gratification oriented. And, you have everything at your fingertips. You have access to everything. The internet allows us to have all kinds of information readily available. We can buy things and have them on our doorstep in a day. Although I will say the supply chain issues that we're having these days have put a kink in that and caused some of us to have to start thinking about delayed gratification, which in my opinion is a good thing. We need to do that. But suffice to say, Americans are pretty used to immediate gratification. And that doesn't help us when we need to rely on our willpower and use our willpower. So willpower is actually something that changes throughout the day. So we usually start the day with more willpower than we end the day with. It's a limited resource. And it's also something that can be trained and it can be exercised, just like any other exercise or muscle or anything else in your body. If you don't use it, you lose it, and willpower fits exactly into that category. So I wanted to just talk a little bit today about some different things that you can do to enhance your willpower, to actually train it up, to make it stronger, to have it more available for when you actually need to use it. So I guess the first thing to think about is just, again, remember that it is a limited resource and it depletes throughout the day. So we have our highest level of willpower in the morning. Especially if you've gotten really good sleep and, you have good nutrition patterns, all those kind of things, those actually help. But when we wake up in the morning, we're at our most advantageous to use our willpower. And then as the day goes, because we have to make all of these little decisions as we go throughout the day, those chip away at our store of willpower. And so by the end of the day, you know how it is. I know how it is for me. By the end of the day, all I want to do is sit on the couch and watch TV. I don't have any energy or motivation or desire to try to do something different or do something better. So you're better off to do those things that require the most willpower, do those in the morning. That's one of those reasons why they say that people who exercise in the morning stick to it longer. They have more consistency because you have the most sort of, get up and go and get yourself to be able to do things that maybe you're not so excited about. Hey, Brett, thanks for coming in. You have that willpower store at its highest in the morning. And so if you can get yourself out the door and get yourself to the gym, or get yourself to make that healthful breakfast, or get yourself to read, or get yourself to meditate, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, you're better off to do it in the morning, first thing, when your willpower is at its highest. So just know that that your available store of willpower depletes over the day. So it gets less as we go. That's just something to know to kind of help you sort of schedule when you want to do things. We need to, just like anything, we need to exercise it daily. So if we want to make something stronger, it takes consistent, regular work, and willpower is no exception. So here are some things that you can do. And we want to make these things really small to start with. They're small little changes that they're almost, you don't even notice them. If they're too big, then of course, it takes a whole lot more willpower, motivation, decision-making, whatever, to get it done. And of course that, can be the challenging part. So if we make those changes really small, then we can do those daily exercises almost without even recognizing that we're doing them. And that helps us to increase our levels and our ability to be strong when we need to be strong. So little things that you can do, and these are, they're kind of silly things almost, but every time you do the thing, you are essentially, consider it one exercise of your willpower, okay? One way that you exercise it. So one thing you can do is think about your posture, okay? So most of us, and I'm sitting here kind of doing it already, right? And as soon as I say think about your posture, what do we instantaneously do? We all sit up straight. So most of us walk around pretty, poor posture. We have hunched shoulders. Our heads sit in front of our shoulders. A lot of our work is done, computers, phones, so we're kind of bent over. So just think about your posture. Just consider your posture. And when you do that, adjust it up. So, and the number of times that you do that in a day, I don't know, maybe it's 5 times. Oh, I got a low battery. Oops. Hopefully that doesn't mess me up here. Hopefully, that maybe that's 5 times in a day. Okay, so you just exercised your willpower 5 times more than you would have done if you hadn't thought about your posture. So maybe you set a timer to remind you. Maybe you, every time you get up out of your chair, that's your cue to think about your posture. Maybe every time you, I don't know, I'm just throwing things out here. Every time you go get a glass of water, oh, okay, I need to think about my posture. You attach that thought pattern to something else that you're already doing. One little thing, it takes a little more work to sit up straight. It's easier to slouch. So there's one small way that you can exercise your willpower, okay? Another way is to use correct speech. We say lots of, in our lazy patterns, right? We say lots of duh or or I'm doing it right now, or contractions, can't, won't, shouldn't. And maybe you make a decision to, within a stretch of time, maybe you put time frames on it so it's not quite so overwhelming. You decide, okay, I'm going to use correct speech for the next 10 minutes. And you eliminate your contractions and you really think through the words that you're using. It takes work. It takes work to do that. And so that's, again, one little way that you can just exercise that willpower and practice it up a bit. It's small change. It's a small change that can help you later on down the line when you need those willpower stores to be really helpful for you if you're doing something bigger. So correct speech. Another little silly way that you can practice and train up your willpower is to use your opposite hand. So if you're right hand dominant, left hand dominant, doesn't matter, switch it to the other side. Maybe you decide to brush your teeth with the hand that you don't normally do. Or you decide to, try to write your name with the hand that you don't normally do, or use your mouse with the hand that on your, if you have a mouse on your computer, with a hand that you don't normally do. Again, set a time limit on it so it's not too much of a crazy change, and then just work on it. It's hard. It's difficult. It makes your brain work, and when you're doing those difficult things that are a little outside of your comfort zone, you're training up that willpower just little by little. Food diaries, another great way to train your willpower. When you actually start to write things down and catalog them, then we start to make little changes. So keeping a food diary for a week, that can help you see trends and see things that maybe you didn't even notice that you were doing before. Gets you to think about those things, and when you think about those things and you're aware of what you're doing, then it's easier to make change. It also trains, again, that willpower concept. So little things that can be done. Bigger things. One bigger thing that can be super helpful is a meditation practice. Meditation work, and there's apps out there that do it in 10 minutes a day. I love the Calm app, CALM. The Calm app is awesome. It's a 10-minute a day meditation. Super, super nice to be able to integrate into your daily life. So it doesn't have to be big, long stretches of time, like 30 minutes, no. But what you'll find as you start to work on meditation is how easily our brains are distracted. And just that idea of learning to refocus, learning to be present in the moment that you're currently in, not thinking about what you're doing in 10 minutes or not thinking about what you did a half an hour ago. Those are not present thoughts, but being really, really present and cognizant of where you are right now. And being able to control your brain and learn how to work with that crazy thought patterns that we do, where our brain just shifts off into this sphere, and then you have to gradually bring it back to the present. Just learning to control your thought process and stay present is a huge help for willpower. Again, the idea that we automate so much of our day that we do things without even knowing that we're doing them. You can't change them if you don't even know that you're doing them. So that idea of a meditation practice, which helps you be more present, helps you be more in control of your head, can really help you shore up that willpower that you need to be able to make those bigger changes. So little things, guys, little things and one big thing. So little silly things like posture and writing with the opposite hand, and then one big thing of meditation, which can be super helpful. So those things can take you a long ways toward just getting that idea of, I'm going to get that willpower to be just a little stronger in my daily life. If you need help with your goal setting or your goal achievement, I'm happy to chat with you about it. I'd love to chat with you about it, and I'd love to know what everybody else is doing in order to get through those tough times, because we all have them. I mean, I had one yesterday. I was at the gym. I really didn't feel like going to lift. I actually just about walked out the door, and I said to myself, no, you're here. Just go do one exercise and see what happens. And lo and behold, I ended up doing a great workout. So we all have those days where we have, we're not so excited about doing those things that we need to do. And so that's where that willpower and that motivation or the change in motivation can step in. So practice these things. If you have little tricks that you've done, I'd love to hear them. You can put them in the comments below. And if you felt like this was helpful, please hit the like button and share it with anyone that you think might benefit. And I will look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday at 1 o'clock for another live. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day. Bye.